losing in Toronto. Boston playing here. The Yankees are on top in the division. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That is Tim McCarver. And, Tim, the pitching in the AL East is phenomenal, not just with the top three. You could even add Toronto into the mix, and that's where the Boston Red Sox have to hang their hat if they're going to get back into this race.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of people who think that the American League East is a two-team race between Tampa Bay and the Yankees, and the Red Sox beg to differ. I mean, when you come in to Yankee Stadium, play a four-game series, and you can throw Buchholz, Lackey, who's going today, Beckett tomorrow night, and John Lester, you know you have a formidable staff.
On the other side today for New York, CC Sabathia, who has been terrific in Yankee pinstripes that they wear here at home. 7-0 this season, 16-3 here at Yankee Stadium since he signed on during the regular season to be a New York Yankee. So here we go. It's Boston. It is New York. It is Fox. It's the game of the week, and it's all yours right after this. Yankee Stadium, Red Sox and Yankees. The game brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of the first inning, the beer that starts with a full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. Taco Bell's starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. A little different look to it today for Sabathia to deal with. Scutaro leads off. Jed Lowry bats second. David Ortiz hits third. Then it's Victor Martinez, Adrian Beltre. Mike Lowell's a first baseman now. J.D. Drew, Bill Hall, and Darnell McDonald, the bottom three. Here are the stats for Sabathia and CC, the big left-hander, 13-5. Been a lot more hittable since the All-Star break. Opponents have hit .330 since that mid-July respite. And first up for Boston is Scudero. The Red Sox won here last night, 6-3. Off we go. Strike one from Sabathia.
Do a lot of things with numbers, Joe, but in the opening, you were talking about Sabathia being 16-3 over the last year and a half plus. When he signed that big contract with the Yankees, he's certainly earned his money.
Here is an 0-1 pitch. And that fastball misses up and away. You could say he earned his money last year during the postseason as well.
Well, I'll say.
He was 3-1, an ERA of 1.98. He started game one in all 3 rounds. The other 2 starts were on 3 days rest. He was the MVP of the American League Championship Series. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. So it's Scudero, Lowry, and David Ortiz. Anybody gets on, Victor Martinez for the Red Sox, who are 5 out. Here comes a 2-1 from Sabathia. Little chopper back to CC. And the 6'7", 290-pounder hauls it in, throws him out, 1 away, and here's a scouting report on Sabathia.
How about that for Joe Girardi being on cue? He said everything works off the sinker. The sinker, you hit the top half of the ball, put it on the ground. That's what Scudero did. And as Joe said, once again in the opening, he has been sensational at home.
So Jed Lowry will step in. He's hit .319 against left-handed pitching in limited time. This is just his 14th game. Had mono. Prior to that's been dealing with a wrist injury that just wouldn't go away last year, and he's trying to get on in front of David Ortiz, who went deep last night. With 1 out, strike one. There's David Ortiz, who's hit 31 home runs during the regular season in his career against the Yankees, includes last night. The 0-1. Line drive into right field will fall in front of Swisher, and Jed Lowry, who's been giving the Red Sox some really good at-bats, is on with 1 out. Take a look at the 4 keys to the game.
I don't think any team in Major League Baseball has plugged away with all of the injuries that they have had more than the Boston Red Sox. And the New York Yankees today will go to their go-to guy, and that's CC Sabathia.
We had that shot of Terry Francona. He's been in the corner of the dugout for the Red Sox since 2004. I think every time we do a Red Sox game, we talk about the great job he's done making decisions along with Theo Epstein for this Boston franchise, but in-game decisions. And if you add into that, Tim, the mood that he sets, the job he did during the postseason in 2004 to guide his team back from a 3-0 deficit to beat the Yankees, then sweep the Cardinals. You look at what he's done this year for this team in this division with these injuries. To be 5 games out is remarkable.
It really is. I don't think it's overstating it to say that Terry Francona is the best manager in Boston Red Sox history.
Ortiz with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. I mean, he has had a revolving roster. They put 16 players on the DL, and these are major players, including their heart and soul on the right side of their infield, with now Euclid and before him Pedroia. That's got a chance. That's well turned for a double play. 3-5-3 with Pena in the middle of it. After a half, Yankee Stadium, no score. Work up a lather. Here's the Yankees starting lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Derek Jeter leads it off at short. Nick Swisher bats second. Mark Teixeira hits third. Then Robinson Cano, Jorge Posada, Lance Berkman the DH. Everybody split up a spot. Curtis Granderson is batting in the 7th spot. Brett Gardner and Ramiro Pena takes over at third base. Go into more detail as to why in the bottom of this first inning. And there are the numbers for John Lackey, who's 10-6. And is one of the real tough, and I would say big game pitchers in this league, as he proved in his days with the Angels. He misses inside, ball one to Derek Jeter.
I think the word gritty is used occasionally in baseball, and it certainly applies to John Lackey.
6'6", 245, 31 years old. And this right-hander, if you talk to Terry Francona, he'll tell you that he's deserved better. With better results, he has pitched pretty well and consistently all year long. The Sprint player first. First in hits all time for the Yankees. And first among active players. There's a grounder foul outside first base and should crack the 3,000 hit plateau at some point next season. Last night had career hit number 2,873 to tie Babe Ruth. Last year in September passed Lou Gehrig to take the top spot in Yankee history for career hits. Here's a 1-2. And a fastball is by the bat of Jeter, one away.
Our scouting report, Joe, you talked about John Lackey and how gritty he is. One of the game's fiercest competitors. Now, there are a lot of great competitors, but he shows his a little more than most guys. Terry Francona telling us before the game that we will be in the game in the 7th inning.
Because of John Lackey.
Because of John Lackey, that's right.
With one out, nobody on, here's Nick Swisher with Teixeira to follow. And then that's where the lineup gets a little different than originally anticipated by Joe Girardi, the Yankee manager. There's a pitch inside. Chris Myers talked about Alex Rodriguez getting hit with a batted ball during batting practice. Well, there's more to the story. 1 ball, no strikes. The count on Nick Swisher. And he hops out. Swisher has had a fantastic season and has been one of the most consistent hitters in the Yankee lineup all year. His 22 home runs, 6th best in the American League. That's a strike. And the count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tampa Bay trying to come back, but down 7 in the 9th. There's strike 2. So during batting practice, Alex Rodriguez was fielding ground balls at his position while the team was taking swings in the cage, live swings, which happens every day of the season. A-Rod, in between taking ground balls off a fungo bat, as a 1-2 pitch misses down and away, turned to say hi to somebody over by the dugout. When he got his head back around, he was drilled in the low left shin on a ball hit by Lance Berkman, a rocket that he hit batting right-handed. The other part of the story is the person he was saying hello to was me. Here's a pitch up and away. So in the interest of full disclosure,
absolutely,
I played a small role in Alex Rodriguez getting hit during batting practice.
But he did have his head directed back toward the hit ball, and the ball was hit by Lance Berkman, the DH today.
There's a pitch outside and a 1-out walk. The good news for the Yankees as you watch it, here's Berkman hitting. He knew it immediately, and Rodriguez got his head back around but took it off the low left shin. The good news for the Yankees is despite that, he got up, walked off the field, and the x-rays were negative. We met with Brian Cashman before the game, and the Yankees are relieved that he is just day-to-day. He's not the only person relieved. Here's a pitch in over the inside corner to Teixeira, strike 1. At some point, my heart rate will return back to its normal, I don't know, 90 beats per minute. Runner at first, 1 out, and Teixeira trying to launch one, fouls one off to the left, out of play, and the count 0-2.
Funny, the last thing Terry Francona told us today about John Lackey was that he's throwing his fastball more. And that's exactly what he's done so far this afternoon. Of the 11 pitches thrown, all have been fastballs.
Here's an 0-2. The breaking ball misses for ball one. So the Red Sox have never really had full complement of players really since the season began. And they have yet to see what their rotation that they put together with additions during the offseason meant with what they put together in their everyday lineup, as that one drives Teixeira off the plate 2-2. This is a Red Sox team that's put 5 players from their opening day lineup on the disabled list. They've lost Euclid for the year, and 3 members of their rotation have spent time on the DL. Teixeira waits, and a 2-2 is hit hard right to the first baseman Lowell, and now a rundown. And a throwaway by the shortstop Scudero. Down to second is Swisher, and the inning will continue.
So a 3 unassisted Mike Lowell, and the throw to second base. And stopping was Nick Swisher, hoping for an overthrow, and that's exactly what he got by Scudero. So an error on Scudero, and Swisher.
Because they always say you can't assume a double play.
Yeah, well, they got the one out, and then once you make the play to shortstop, he's got to make a good throw because Swisher was going back to first, and his bad throw allowed him to go to second.
So we're waiting on the ruling. Obviously, the ground ball to the first baseman, Lowell, who made the play. The pickup went to the bag. They had Swisher caught. And it is an E6, which will be error number 15 on the year for Scudero.
I think the way you score that is, from a common sense standpoint, had Scudero not made the bad throw to first, they get Swisher. Plus, Swisher was going back to the first base bag.
Runner at second for Cano, who takes ball 2-0. Robinson has hit 21. Driven in 71, and his average of .329 is 5th best in the American League, and he has rapidly become one of the most dangerous hitters in baseball. He waits for a 2-0 and takes low, ball 3.
A lot of people talk about the high-priced Yankees, and they obviously, with a payroll of over $200 million, are such. They don't talk about the grit, determination, and toughness. And Cano is one of those guys. He's missed 7 games in the last 3+ years.
And he's not a store-bought player.
No.
He's a guy that they developed.
They developed well, too.
So 2 walks in the inning. And, Tim, there are the numbers. The missed games by year. I mean, they write his name down on the lineup card with pen and expect him to be out there. And when we talked to Girardi about it before the game, he said, it doesn't go unnoticed by me, but because I have an older left side of my infield with Jeter and Rodriguez, he has to lean on the younger Cano to answer the bell just about every day.
Something that I had never thought about until Joe said it today.
So now Posada. He takes low, ball 1. Jorge has hit 12 home runs. He spent a couple of weeks on the disabled list with a fractured foot. And his average at .261. Breaking ball misses. That's 6 straight, and that brings Victor Martinez out to the mound. Lance Berkman, who was picked up at the trading deadline, waits on deck, and he just has 2 hits and 19 at bats. And you and I, Tim, haven't even talked about it. May not even bat here in the first inning, but to me, that was a good pickup for this Yankees team.
I don't think there's any question about it. You don't judge a guy with a track record of Lance Berkman after 19 at bats.
But right now, it's Posada with 2 on, 2 out. Last night, you see the Toronto win over the Tampa Bay Rays. A breaking ball is in for a strike. Last night it was an error by Francisco Cervelli on a pop-up that opened the door for 3 unearned runs scored against the Yankees by the Red Sox. 2-2 on Posada.
Kind of points up to the fact that baseball is a routine game. If you do routine things spectacularly as opposed to spectacular things routinely, you'll win. That sound right?
I'm going to have to write that down.
Do routine things spectacularly instead of spectacular things routinely.
2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's just outside a full count. I believe it was Ben Franklin who said that.
Not talking about baseball when he did.
No.
Just off the plate, and the runners will be off. 3-2, 2 outs.
Lead runner is Swisher. Trail runner is Cano. Good speed on for Posada, who has a full count. So they will take off, and Jorge hops out. There they go, and there's a ground ball to first. Lowell stops it, goes to the bag, and the inning is over. Lackey gets around the error by Scudero. 2 walks, 2 left after 1. Yankee Stadium. No score. Baseball is presented by Sprint, the Now Network, by the 2010 Taurus from Ford, Drive One, and by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. How about that view? Wow, what a day. Good day to be in a blimp, and they are as they bring us aerial coverage. It's DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV to find out how you can get 5 months free. Look at that.
Beautiful.
We are north. And in the Bronx, where these two teams have met over the years, and this rivalry continues to this day. Last night, the Red Sox won it. This is game 2 of a 4-game set. Here's Victor Martinez. And there's a fastball high, ball 1. Victor Martinez, then Beltre, then Mike Lowell. If anybody gets on, J.D. Drew. When talking to Terry Francona before the game about what the approach was and is against Sabathia, as that breaking ball drops in for a strike, he said make him work, make him throw pitches. His command's been a little off since the All-Star break, and that's really what the Red Sox do. The last 2 years, this franchise, Boston has seen more pitches than any other. The Yankees, number 2. Saw just 9 pitches in the first, and that makes the count 2-1 on Martinez. There's Dave Magadan, part of the group that preaches patience at the plate. Here's a 2-1. Fastball misses, and Sabathia slipped after letting it go. 3 balls and a strike.
That's one of the biggest things as you're looking at most pitches seen. Boston and the Yankees, that's what Joe was talking about. The most important thing about hitting in the major leagues is to get yourself into a position where you can predict the pitch. Right now, Martinez is looking for a fastball inside.
And he hammers it one, drives it deep to left, back at the wall, it's gone. Home run, Victor Martinez, and the Red Sox lead 1-0 here in the second. That is the second that he has hit off his former battery mate from their days in Cleveland. Number 2 off Sabathia.
The count was 3-1, looking for an inside fastball, even if it was up a little bit, and he tattoos it. David Ortiz put the Red Sox on top last night with a 2-out home run in the first inning, and now leading off the second, Victor Martinez.
Brings in Adrian Beltre. And that hits the strike zone from Sabathia. See what Sabathia thought when Martinez connected. Watching it sail deep into the bleachers, and then whoever caught it threw it back. That pitch misses low, a ball and a strike. Beltre, the 4th best average in the AL at .334, and his production has been tremendous. Very consistent player and dependable for Boston in his first year, and that ball is fair down the third base line, now into the left field corner, and Beltre will cruise into second base with a double.
What a year Beltre is having. His first All-Star game in Anaheim this year. Now he double number 33 on the year. 56 extra base hits for Beltre.
It brings in Mike Lowell, still nobody out. A home run, then a double, and Lowell, who's hitting .217 and who's been bothered by his sore hip, takes outside, ball 1. There was an official scorer's change on the ball that was hit in the bottom of the first and then changed back. What was originally an error, they took the error away, now they put it back on Scudero on that botched rundown. There's a pitch on the corner, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mike Lowell obviously playing because of Kevin Youkilis being out for the season. Mike will see a lot of duty down at first base, along with the newly signed Carlos Delgado.
Here's a shot into right field. That ball is fair and into the corner. In to score is Beltre. Digging it out is the right fielder Swisher, and Lowell has an RBI double. It's 2-0 Boston.
Talked about Joe Girardi saying that everything revolves around the sinker. When you get that sinker up, you allow a hitter of Lowell's stature to take it the other way. That's what Mike did. So a home run and 2 straight doubles. As you look at contact, that's not a bad pitch. But Lowell going to right field all the way.
And it brings in J.D. Drew. And the Lowell story is really interesting. To think that he could have been traded away and might have been traded to the Yankees as Drew fouls it out of play left side. Ken Rosenthal is with us, and that was a distinct possibility, wasn't it, Kenny?
Yes, it was, Joe. It was discussed right before the trade deadline. The Red Sox also discussed the deal with the Blue Jays involving Edwin Encarnacion and Lowell in June. But basically what happened in Youkilis validates their decision to keep Lowell instead of simply releasing him.
Drew now in the hole 0-2. And so a couple of the non-moves, either A, trading Mike Lowell, or B, throwing their young player Ryan Kalish into a deal to get some player at the deadline. Kalish has come up. He homered last night. He's been a nice weapon that the Red Sox have found. And just standing pat, here they are with an opportunity to be 4 out at the end of the day with a win here at Yankee Stadium. That's foul, still 0-2.
Every outfielder, there's Ryan Kalish, who had his first major league home run last night, but every outfielder that the Red Sox have brought up have done well. Dan Nava with a grand slam home run, his first swing of the bat, first pitch he saw. And then Darnell McDonald is in the game today.
Good change of pace from Sabathia. Fools J.D. Drew, and that strikeout number 1 on the day for number 52. So Drew is gone, does not advance the runner, and it brings in Bill Hall. Hitting .236, and he has played everywhere because of all these injuries for Boston. His first year in a Red Sox uniform. With 1 out, there's a strike. Posada can't hang on to it. It's 0-1. There was a delay there for Lowell, though. He was brought back from a rehab assignment where he hit very well on Friday and then just sat there. Trading deadline came and went on Saturday. He was activated and played Tuesday night after Youkilis went down on Monday, and Lowell homered in his first at bat at Fenway Park against the Indians. Here's an 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and here's what happened Tuesday. Got a big ovation, and then bang.
There are very few players that you could say this about, that they had a standing ovation before and after their home run, and that's what Mike had on Tuesday night at Fenway.
Counts 1 ball, 1 strike on Bill Hall. That one crossed up Posada, able to get enough of it to keep it around home plate. Lowell stays put, ball 2.
And Posada anything but staying put because CC threw the breaking ball. So Posada got the local while he was looking for the express. Well, that's a frightening feeling. It's tough enough job to do behind the plate, but when you're crossed up by a pitcher, now Derek Jeter is in there. The reason that Jeter and Cano are near the mound is to make sure that they have not changed the signs without their knowledge. Joe Girardi very familiar with conferences like that. Former catcher himself.
So Hall is ahead on the count, 2 balls and a strike with Darnell McDonald, the number 9 man, on deck. Sabathia brings it, and a comebacker. Lowell stays put, 2 out. Talked about the Kevin Youkilis injury. He is lost for the rest of the year with a torn ligament in his right thumb, and so he had that operated on, and the Red Sox are shorthanded at first base. Ken Rosenthal, they have done something about that.
Yes, Joe, they've signed Carlos Delgado today to a minor league contract, and he basically has an out if he is not in the majors by September 1st. He hasn't played since May of last season, coming off that hip surgery, and the Red Sox are going to keep looking. They'll look on the trade market for guys like Lyle Overbay and also Adam LaRoche. And basically, if they stay in contention, Joe, they're going to be active.
Yeah, you would have to believe that this is a team that last year after the deadline added Billy Wagner. They will be active, especially as they creep closer, if they creep closer to the top of the division. First pitch, a ball from Sabathia, and now he steps off.
Ken mentioned that date, September 1st, in order for a player to be eligible for the postseason. If his team obviously makes the postseason, he must come up on or before August 31st. Posada and Sabathia having problems.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Popped up right side. Teixeira gives it a look. There's room, and that's the end of the inning. 2 runs. First one was loud off the bat of Victor Martinez, leading off in the second. Goodbye. One more later, driven in by Lowell. 2-0 Red Sox after 1.5. Baseball presented by Sprint is sponsored by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. Beautiful day in New York. Temperature in the mid-80s. And in the bottom of the second, the Yankees will have Berkman, Granderson, and Gardner. First pitch of ball from John Lackey, who got around 2 walks and an error in the first inning. As Tim mentioned, 19 at bats so far with the Yankees. 2 for 19 is Berkman. 1 RBI. He is jammed and fouls it back. Strike 2. Had arthroscopic knee surgery over this past offseason. He returned 2 weeks into the year for Houston. Played collegiately at Rice, spent his big league career with the Astros. 34 years old now. He takes outside in the count 2-2.
Very difficult changing leagues, because obviously Lance will now have to learn all the American League pitches. The one thing that gives him an advantage, however, he's a switch hitter. And when you're a switch hitter, you don't have to bail out while you're learning. Meaning everything's coming into you. That's the biggest advantage of hitting left and right.
Berkman fouled that ball off his foot or lower leg and took a minute outside the batter's box. Granderson will follow, then Gardner. If anybody gets on, Ramiro Pena. Lackey with a 2-0 lead. Deals low, full count. On 3-2, Berkman checks his swing. He did not go, and it's a leadoff walk. 3rd walk by Lackey.
Very good at bat by Lance Berkman. He's a very careful hitter, good 2-strike hitter, and that curveball just out of the zone, and he held up.
Here's Granderson. Curtis off to a 242 start in his, I guess you can't say new anymore, uniform. But the question for Granderson was, how is he going to handle left-handed pitching, something that had slowed him down certainly last year and really in his career with the Detroit Tigers, and it has not been good. It's been right around the 214 mark. And now that the Yankees have picked up Austin Kearns, Yankees aren't saying it's a straight platoon situation, but he may get less time. Here's a shot into right center. Back at the wall. It's off the top of the wall. Berkman digs around third. They're going to bring him home. The throw into third. Granderson safe. It's 2-1.
Triple number 6 on the season. That's a fastball that's straightened out. John Lackey throws a good sinking fastball, and that pitch did not sink until it sinks off the wall at the 385 marker.
I mean, that was off the very top, off the padding and back down onto the field. And so instead of his 11th home run, it's an RBI triple. Granderson's at third with nobody out representing the tying run.
That was an interesting shot of Rob Thompson, the third base coach, who was waving Berkman home and then had to get down and tell Granderson to get down. So you have two guys to worry about rounding third.
Triple number 6 off the bat of Granderson, and there's Rob Thompson.
Waving, waving, waving. Berkman comes around, and now watch. He gets immediately back to Granderson to say hit the dirt.
Here's a 1-0 to Gardner. It's a strike, 1-1. Gardner hitting 287. He's driven in 36. Struggled over the last 7 games. Late swing and a dangerous foul right off the netting in front of Ryan Kalish. The Red Sox dugout, strike 2. Granderson's a guy, by the way, who has led the American League in triples 2 different seasons. Part of that is the expansive park they play in Detroit. That is strike 3 called right down the middle. And Gardner spins and goes back to the dugout, out number 1.
It appeared to be a delayed call by home plate umpire Jerry Lane. It was a strike. And you can see Lane delaying, and I think that's what Gardner had a beef with. Jerry not definitive on that strike call.
Now it's up to Ramiro Pena. Again is in the lineup because Alex Rodriguez was hit the batted ball during batting practice. X-rays on his left shin negative. He's day-to-day. Pena gets the chance, and he's driven in 11 runs, hitting just 204. Good pitch from Lackey, ties him up. Strike 1, and it should get tougher and tougher to see as we go.
Normally with the infield back and less than 2 outs in the early innings, I'm going to give up the ground ball out.
Here's a little easy ground ball for the RBI. Good job by Pena. Tie game 2-2.
So that kind of my point was it takes away the squeeze. You can see Granderson going on contact at third base. And once it gets by the pitcher, it ties the game.
Be interested to see that replay again, only because it looked like Lackey thought about going after that ground ball, which would have prevented the run.
That's true.
And then laid off it.
That's true.
Which gave the RBI to Ramiro Pena.
Yeah, and it was probably too wide. Watch the reaction of Lackey. Granderson scoring rather easily. I think he figured, if I go after a ball like that, I might hurt myself. And let the sure hands have it. Can't be everywhere.
So the count 2-0 on Derek Jeter with the bases empty, and after the Red Sox got two, the Yankees answered with two of their own. Jeter struck out his first time, and now he floats one into right center field. Going to get it, McDonald, and the inning is over. Two in the top half, two in the bottom half. We go to the third, tied at Yankee Stadium. Back after this from your local Fox station. By Sprint, the Now Network. We move into inning number 3. Each side got a couple. In the second, it'll be Scutaro, Jed Lowry, and David Ortiz. And a breaking ball misses from Sabathia, ball 1. Scutaro bounced back to Sabathia's first time up. There's a strike from Sabathia, 1-1. On deck is Lowry. Had a chance to visit with Dustin Pedroia before the game down in the Red Sox dugout. And obviously, he is chomping at the bit. He cannot wait to get back out there.
Neither can the Red Sox.
For a couple of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
Here's a 1-1. That's a slow roller foul outside third. Obviously, he's one of their best players. One of the best players in the game is Dustin Pedroia, and kind of their spark plug and the guy that they all look to now to get the team jump-started, especially having lost Youkilis. I talked to John Farrell and some of his teammates, and they said, get him out of the dugout.
That was my point.
We are tired of listening to him in here.
He is rather animated.
Here's a line drive off the glove of Pena and into left field. A leadoff hit by Scutaro. Ken Rosenthal caught up with Dustin Pedroia, who worked out today. And here were Dustin's thoughts about his progress.
I think it's healing more. I think each day, I'm feeling a little bit better. It's not it's not hurting as bad, and it's just a sign that I'm rounding third now. It's just I'm getting close to being able to get in the lineup.
It may be a stretch to say at the end of this 10-game trip for the Red Sox, but it's not much beyond that. If all things go right, according to Terry Francona, who we met with before the game. Here's Jed Lowry, who singled in the first inning, takes ball one. Lowry, then Ortiz after the hit by Scudero.
Good situation to send the runner right here and hit and run. Good contact hitter at the plate.
Sabathia is struggling to find his best stuff here so far today. Counts 2-0.
TC has worked on that move. He has that slide step with a runner on at first base who can run a little bit.
Left side for Jeter. Out at second and safe at first. And only the brilliant turn of Robinson Cano even made that a play. 1 on, 1 out.
We've talked about it before. Cano as a second baseman with a shortstop's arm. Very close. He was off balance when he made the throw, threw the ball off the wrong foot. And there was almost a missed stride by Jed Lowry going to first base. You could see it about 2.5 yards. He was safe. But something hampered his going all out over the bag.
Brings in Ortiz, 1 on, 1 out. And a strike from Sabathia. How about the sprint player first for David Ortiz? First in home runs among DHs this season, and first all time in home runs among designated hitters. Had a walk-off 3-run double a week ago today. Takes outside, ball 1.
Designated hitter was employed by the American League in 1973. So 37 years ago, and David Ortiz is one of the best among those who have DH'd in the American League since then.
Check on the runner. That's Lowry, who has not attempted a steal in his limited time active with the big league club this season. There's the defense and the shift. Outfield actually plays Ortiz a shade to hit the other way. Sabathia steps off. Good fastball from the left-hander. Strike 2.
Ortiz, a good low ball hitter. He proved that once again with his home run to center field last night to put the Red Sox on the board. He has a tough time with that high fastball. Always has. Fastball away.
And got him over the outside corner. 2 out. Ortiz with a mild protest going back to the dugout. I think the bigger issue is that the home plate umpire, Jerry Lane, is making the call verbally before he rings him up with his arms or physically to tell the ballpark that it's out number 2.
I think that pitch hit the front corner. I think it was a strike. It was framed properly by Jorge Posada. So Ortiz upset, but it appeared to be a strike. It was very, very close.
Here's Victor Martinez, who has just hammered left-handed pitching this season. Homered his first time up, takes a strike. I could be wrong. In fact, the way today's going, I'm sure I'm wrong. But I don't remember Jerry Lane calling third strikes that deliberately.
No, I don't either. And waiting that long. Well, we talked about the hitters having problems with the shadows. I mean, if the hitters do, it would make some sense that the umpires could have, and I'm not making any excuses for Jerry, but I mean, with what you're looking at right there from home plate out to the pitcher's mound, perhaps Lane is having a difficult time picking the ball up.
1 ball, 1 strike. Lowry at first, 2 out. And Martinez is jammed. Pena with a long throw, and the inning is over. A leadoff hit, a man left on. Red Sox have left 2. Bottom of number 3. Big bats coming up, tied at 2.
Good.
We go into the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Yankees in a 2-2 game. That shot at Terry Francona, we just had a chance to visit with him during the break. Nick Swisher, his first time up, walked. And he takes outside, ball 1 to start the bottom of the 3rd. Last August, the Red Sox came here. They entered down 2.5 games in the division. They left down 6.5 games in the division as the Yankees won all 4. Boston never really got close after that. Got it to within 5. Won the wild card. Lost to the Angels. Here's a swing and a miss by Swisher. Strike 2. The Yankees took care of the Twins. Took care of the Angels. And then in 6 games beat Philadelphia to win the World Series. Here's a 1-2. That's on the outside corner. Strike 3. And all Swisher can do is just stand and shake his head at the home plate umpire.
If there are going to be a lot of arguments with Jerry Lane, not that the pitch was not a strike, but the way he's calling it. I think Nick thought that ball was low. And the delayed call, that's the 3rd delayed call from Jerry in this ball game. And he talked about his difficulty seeing the ball, and Joe Girardi now was going to complain, and now he's going to protect Nick Swisher.
There's a strike on the outside corner to Mark Teixeira, and Swisher will not simmer down quickly. Here's a foul out of play off to the left. Strike 2.
Talked about the Yankees beating the Red Sox 4 in a row. That was after the Red Sox won the first 8 games they played against the Yankees last year. And everybody was saying, well, the Red Sox are going to take it to the Yankees. And boy, that stopped in a hurry in that 4-game series when the Yankees won and swept them.
Still 0-2. We had a quick visit with Francona. We'll try and play it for you after Teixeira does something here with 1 out in the 3rd. The 0-2 is swung on and missed by Teixeira. 2 out. Strikeout number 4 for Lackey. And the question posed to Terry Francona was, do you like what you see from your big right-hander today?
He's missed a little bit, and I mean, if he's missing, it's not by much, but he's down. So again, if he stays down, he'll be all right. Again, we talked before the game. You're going to look up about an hour and a half from now. It'll be the 7th inning, and we'll be right in this game.
Is Pedroia driving you nuts?
Yeah, he's driving everybody nuts. We got to get him back in. I think he lost his mind.
Thanks, Terry.
Okay, yes.
So with 2 out, nobody on after back-to-back strikeouts, Cano rockets 1 foul, strike 1. Bottom of the order did it to him in the 2nd. Talking about Lackey, a leadoff walk, an RBI triple by Granderson, and an RBI ground out by Pena. Here's the 0-1. Ball 1.
Terry Francona talking about John Lackey and getting the ball down. Both of the curveballs on which Nick Swisher and Mark Teixeira struck out were down. 1 called, 1 swinging.
That's up the middle for a base hit. Hard hit by Cano, who's on base for the 2nd time today.
Here's what we were talking about on the heels of the comments by Francona. The curveball looked to be down, but Lackey got the call. Don't need to get the call there as Teixeira goes too far.
Brings in Posada with 1 on, 2 out. Jorge had 2 on with 2 out in the 1st. And grounded out to the first baseman Lowell. Ball 1. That's foul, strike 1.
Joe Girardi talking about Jorge Posada, saying that he will probably catch about 60% of the games for the rest of the season. Maybe 15-20% of the time. Use him as the DH and catch Francisco Cervelli. They need Posada's bat if they're going to win another American League division.
Here's a 1-1. Up the middle to his left. Scudero will throw. Inning over. 2 strikeouts start of the inning, then a base hit by Cano. The Yankees have stranded 3. We go to inning number 4, tied at 2. presented by Sprint is sponsored by Michelin, a better way forward. By Dairy Queen. And by DirecTV. Watch your favorite team wherever you live, only on DirecTV. And as we move along and move into the fourth inning, teams around the league are competing for $200,000 Pepsi Refresh grant. Vote for your team's idea at pepsirefresh.mlb.com. As we go to the fourth inning, Sabathia back to the hill, and I think he is still trying to settle into this game as he misses high to Adrian Beltre, ball one. Beltre doubled and scored his first time up. Lowell will follow Beltre and then J.D. Drew. Broken bat, Jeter. One out. Yankees start the day 67-41. It's the best record in baseball. If the Yankees win today, they will have a 1.5 game lead over Tampa Bay. The Rays lost in Toronto today. And it's a 5-game deficit. See the final from Toronto. The start of the day for the Red Sox behind New York.
8 home runs by Toronto in that game. 7 against James Shields. That is a major league record.
With 1 out, nobody on, the batter's Lowell, and that breaking ball misses for ball one.
Toronto Blue Jays, by the way, a team that has hit more home runs than any other team in baseball.
With 1 out, that misses low. Ball 2-0. Ken Rosenthal has some news. Ken, what's up?
Joe, for Tampa Bay, the news got even worse after the game. Jeff Neiman, perhaps their most consistent starter this season, was scratched from his start tomorrow. Shoulder soreness. They're going to go with Andy Sonnenstein instead.
Thanks, Ken. Here is a 2-0 pitch lifted high in the air to left center. Gardner to his left. Fights the sun and has out number 2. Talk about the pitching with Boston. The pitching, to me, more than any other phase of the game for the Tampa Bay Rays, is the reason why they are right there in the division. They can get you 1 through 5 in their rotation. That'd be a big loss.
Best starting staff in baseball, and I guess you have to say, when they're all healthy, the second best, the Boston Red Sox. Buck Holtz last night, Lackey today, and then Josh Beckett tomorrow night, and John Lester on Monday.
There's a pitch inside, ball 1, and there's the shift. There's Beckett, who I got a chance to talk to, and he says he's feeling really good. And the numbers show that that's true. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beckett will be coming off a 3-1 win over Cleveland his last time out. This is coming off the DL. He's 2-0 with a 2.18 ERA. Came off July 23rd. Here's a 1-1 and a shot into left center field. Gardner to his left. A nice catch to end the inning. Got a great jump and used his legs and that great speed to take an extra base hit away from J.D. Drew. Good defense by Gardner. Bottom of the 4th. Yankees and Red Sox tied at 2. have Lance Berkman, Curtis Granderson, Brett Gardner. Anybody gets on the number 9 man today, Ramiro Pena, against John Lackey, who seems to be settling into a groove. He starts Berkman with a strike. Lance walked on a 3-2 pitch his first time up, then scored on a triple by Granderson, who scored on a ground out by Pena to tie the game at 2. Good tight breaking ball, fouled for strike 2. Switch hitter Lance Berkman hit a lot of left-handed home runs the opposite way with that short porch in Houston, just flipping it out of the park as he takes one inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is a guy who has hit over 40 home runs in a season.
He has the same advantage here too, Joe. Short porch in left field, only 318 down the line. Ball carries better to right field, however.
That's up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And just 314 down the right field line. Straightaway center, 408. Here's a 2-2. A strikeout starts the inning, and that's number 5 for John Lackey.
We don't want to be redundant when we talk about the fierce competitiveness of John Lackey, but you may remember the American League Championship Series last year when Mike Scioscia, the manager of the Angels, came to take Lackey out of the game. Come on, Sos. This is mine. This is mine, Sos. He was scheduled to pitch Game 7, but the Yankees won it in 6.
Granderson took a ball. Lackey's next is popped up shallow left. Coming in to grab it is Bill Hall, out number 2. And with the bases empty, Brett Gardner, who made that terrific catch to end the top of this 4th inning, will walk to the plate.
You know what made that catch even better, Joe? It was an across the body catch. In other words, if you're wearing your glove on the left hand, it's a much easier play. But Gardner had to go across his body and spear it. Very nice.
Fastball right down the chute for a strike. In that game, by the way, in that Game 5 when John Lackey was taken out after 6 2/3, the Yankees did go to work on Darren Oliver. Took a lead, lost the lead, and the Angels eventually won that game 7-6. There's a strike, 0-2. Yankees won Game 6 here in the stadium 5-2 behind Andy Pettitte, who is rapidly working his way back to the big league club. There's a jam shot caught by Adrian Beltre. And we've seen some defense here today. Gardner, who robbed J.D. Drew, his at bat comes to an end on this catch by Beltre. Let's go to the 5th, tied at 2. Back after this from your local clock station. We are in the 5th inning, and Bill Hall leads it off. Darnell McDonald and Marco Scutaro, the next 2 hitters against Sabathia. We visited with CC's pitching coach, Dave Island, during the break. I'll give that to you after Bill Hall, who hit a comebacker his first time up, does something to lead off the inning. Opportunity for the Yankees today to add to their lead in the AL East. Fly ball into center. Granderson back to get it. 1 out. Here's our chat with Dave Island. First question about CC Sabathia and trying to settle into this game and find his release point.
Yeah, we're really not finishing his pitches off. We talked about getting him over his front side a little bit better and finish the pitches off to have more life down in the zone, and that's what I look for him to do from here on out.
And you've had your hands full this year. It's the work of any pitching coach, but now you're trying to piece together your bullpen. What do you think of the addition you guys made with Kerry Wood, and have you made any adjustments to him already since he came from Cleveland?
Yeah, it's a great addition. I mean, he's a veteran guy with a power arm. He still has, plus stuff. What we try to do with Kerry is that we raise his arm slot up a little bit to create better angle on his pitches, and I think we saw it last night with some good fastballs down the zone and better tilt to his breaking ball.
And last half inning, I mentioned Andy Pettit. I know you're pleased with the progress he's making. I know he's not that far off. If it's forgotten, he's 11-2. He's having one of his best, if not his best year ever.
Yeah, he's having a great year, but, Andy's a grinder. He's a true professional, and, he's probably one of the best big game pitchers that we've seen in a long time. But we should have him back in a couple of weeks, and we can't wait for him to get back.
Dave, thanks for your time today.
Okay, guys.
All right. It's Dave Island, very good pitching coach for the Yankees. Andy Pettit through batting practice yesterday. Got another one coming up. Then he will have at least one rehab start, Joe Girardi said today. And then he'll be back. So Dustin Mosley, who gets the ball on Monday for the Yankees, could get a couple more. Here's a ground ball that goes through Ramiro Pena into left field. And Darnell McDonald is on. We'll see if it's a hit or an error. Likely an error. And it is. Number 3 on the year for Pena.
And infielders talk about allowing the ball to play you. The minute Pena goes back on that ball, it eats him up. A lot of top spin. Tough to make up your mind. We talked about seeing the ball well from home to the plate. Sometimes the shadows can interfere with infielders picking up the ball properly, too.
Again, it's Pena at third base. Alex Rodriguez, a scratch originally in the lineup. Hit with a batted ball during batting practice. X-rays negative. The area on his left shin where the ball hit him, and his status is day-to-day. So it's Pena who has an RBI in this game. Game-tying RBI ground out, making the error, and it brings in the leadoff man, Scutaro. McDonald can run. He's stolen 6, has not been caught.
Joe, we talked about the origin of the designated hitter earlier, and the DH in the American League has changed the game to a great degree in the American League. Because you have a big, powerful guy like Ortiz, and you get a guy on, you're less inclined to hit and run like they are in the National League. More of a station-to-station game now, for the most part.
Sabathia is bothered by McDonald over at first. And the count 0-1 at the plate with Scutaro. That's strike 2. Talked a little bit about the American League East. In the National League, there are tight races in the East, Central, and West. The only runaway is what's going on in the AL West, with Texas enjoying a 9.5 game lead over Oakland. Angels are 10 out. Here's a pop-up right side. Foul territory and a long run for Cano, who gets there for out number 2. How about a DirecTV game break? Here's Chris Myers.
Reds and Cubs in Chicago, bottom of the 9th inning. Cordero, Francisco on, had loaded the bases. Then he hit Sterling Castro to force in Blake DeWitt. Nick Macedon in relief. Walks Aramis Ramirez to make it a 4-3 game, and then finally gets Marlon Byrd. And the first place Reds win 4-3, a 1-game lead at the moment over the Cards, who play the Marlins later. DirecTV, the only way to watch every Major League game in HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
All right, Chris, thank you. The last time the Reds were in the postseason was 1995. And it's now a full 1-game lead with the Cardinals playing at Florida later for Cincinnati in the Central. Batter now is Lowry, 2 out, runner at first, ball 1. And here are those tight races in the National League with the Phillies now a game out. And San Francisco with their good pitching, rotation, great closer in Wilson, they're just a game out in the West.
And they're a game behind a team with great pitching also, the San Diego Padres. Phillies entertaining the New York Mets tonight in Philadelphia.
One ball, no strikes on Lowry, who's 1 for 2. That's outside, 2-0.
Great pitching matchup in Philadelphia. Johan Santana against Cole Hamels. Speaking of great pitchers, I didn't think anybody would challenge Ubaldo Jimenez in the Cy Young race, but Adam Wainwright is doing his best. He won his 16th last night. 11-0 in St. Louis this year.
Here's a pop-up into right. Swisher is there, shields his eyes, and the inning is over. Halfway through it on a late Saturday afternoon in the Bronx. Yankees coming up. 9-1 and 2 hitters. We're tied at 2. Presented by Sprint, the Now Network. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV to find out how you can get 5 months free. Number 9 man is Ramiro Pena. Has an RBI in this game, a game-tying RBI in the second. Trying to get on in front of Jeter and Swisher. And he almost walked right into it. Ball 1. Pena takes inside, 2-0. 2 walks in the first inning for John Lackey, a walk and a triple in the second, and since then he has Really found a groove. Here's his 2-0. Strike one. Lackey working in a hurry. Strike two. Tomorrow afternoon is the championship game of MLB's reviving baseball in the inner cities. Check your local listings on MLB Network. Great initiative as Pena grounds to the first baseman. Lowell flips for the out. One away. Back to the top of the order, and Derek Jeter will step in. Jeter is struck out, fly to center. Jeter, who has been on SNL, certainly one of the faces for Major League Baseball, had a movie debut last night. Ken Rosenthal is with us, and pretty impressive marquee that he's a part of, Ken.
It is, Joe, and you think you've got problems with A-Rod today. Well, in this movie, Mark Wahlberg is playing a New York City detective, and he accidentally shoots Jeter and then gets relegated to some more mundane work. Now, everyone knows Wahlberg is a huge Red Sox fan, and Jeter knows it too. And Wahlberg actually has been bragging to his Boston buddies that he shot Jeter in the film.
Really? Well, we'll just see how the film does after weekend number one. Debuted last night. That's the other guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. As strike two is delivered by Lackey to Derek Jeter. With one out, nobody on after Pena grounded out. That's on the inside corner, and strike three. Strikeout number 6 for John Lackey.
Derek Jeter with the lowest batting average that he's ever had at this point in time during the season. 0 for 3 this afternoon, and you rarely see him taking a third strike fastball or breaking ball for that matter.
I just think that points out, whether it's Jeter or some of the other looks we've seen at the plate, how difficult it is to see right now with the sun in the background and the pitcher standing in the shade.
Including, once again, home plate umpire Jerry Lane.
That's in for a strike to Swisher, who had words for Jerry Lane after being called out on strikes his last time up. Jeter's contract runs out at the end of this year. Swisher fooled, strike 2. This is year number 10 on a 10-year, $189 million deal. And I have heard nothing from anybody that suggests that they think he's going anywhere but right back here to Yankee Stadium after 2010.
Couldn't agree more.
That's where he belongs, and as he approaches the 3,000 hit club, that to me is the only uniform that it can happen in. 2 out, nobody on, a 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. So Jeter's production is down this year. He's coming off a huge year in 2009, one of his best. One ball, 2 strikes from Lackey with 2 out. Swisher stays alive. Nick has walked, struck out. Lackey has struck out 6 and allowed just 2 hits. Up and away, 2-2.
Breaking ball.
And Swisher shoots one up the middle, a 2-out single to center.
sometimes instead of pitchers shaking off pitches, they just stare them off. Fastball away. No, I don't want that one. And they went with the breaking ball, a pretty good breaking ball. And Swisher rifles up the middle. Good hitting by Swisher.
Talked about it early in the season that after a disappointing postseason last year, Nick went into a different training regimen, got himself into better shape, and it has paid off. He has just taken to the number 2 spot in this lineup, which is where the Yankees initially tried to put Lance Berkman. Berkman's now down lower in the order today, hitting 6th, was originally 7th before Rodriguez was injured during batting practice. Swisher's in the number 2 spot in front of Teixeira, who has a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Another slow start for Mark Teixeira here in 2010, like he had in 2009, as that pitch is low, 2-1, but it's been getting better. And you see what he's done in July. Hit just 136 in April, but the production is still good. Tied for 4th in home runs, tied for 5th in RBIs in the American League. And he lines one over the head of Scudero. Swisher will turn and go to third. First and third, 2 out. On back-to-back hits by Swisher and Teixeira.
This a fastball away, and Teixeira doesn't try to pull the ball. Hits it into left center field. Swisher easily goes to third base. Now John Farrell out to talk to John Lackey. I don't think, obviously, runners are on at first and third, and you don't have a base open. But I do not give in to Robinson Cano right here. He is just too good a hitter, swinging with too much confidence. Throwing breaking balls and fastball counts. If you fall behind, make him hit the breaking ball.
Cano, who a week ago today had a game-winning home run off Rafael Soriano, the closer of the Tampa Bay Rays. And as he checks in, he is 1 for 1 with a walk, a single, and started the day 5th best in the American League, hitting .329. So a 2-out rally. Strike one.
Victor Martinez out in front of the plate, telling the middle infielders what he's going to do should Teixeira run. I don't think Mark's going to be running here with Cano, the hitter.
Fastball high, 90 miles per hour from Lackey, 1-1. The next from John Lackey inside. Ball 2. And now we will see how willing John Lackey is to lay one in behind on the count. Posada on deck with a guy like Cano at the plate.
Yeah, I think you just miss with the breaking ball in this situation. Lackey shaking off.
And a line drive into right field is a base hit. Falls in front of Drew. Yankees lead 3-2. Going to third, Teixeira, as Cano delivers with 2 out.
He went with a fastball in a fastball situation. And Cano is just locked in. That's why we were suggesting go out of the strike zone. And for the first time today, the Yankees had the lead. We
which makes me wonder out loud if some of that grittiness and that toughness and the determination would sometimes stand in the way of a John Lackey giving into a hitter, putting him on, as opposed to pitching around him, challenging him behind the count with a fastball, and he just got burned with it.
I see your point, and that's where an experienced catcher can go out and you talk it over. If that's what you really want to do, go ahead and do it. Well, he did it.
Here's another base hit to right. In to score, Teixeira going to third. Cano. The wheel keeps turning, and it's 4-2 New York. 4 straight 2-out hits for the Yankees.
A slider, and Mike Lowell had to hold Cano on, and the ball trickling by Mike, and Posada with RBI number 39 on the year.
And a small part of that, Tim, is the reason Lowell had to hold against Cano was because Teixeira went first to third on that hit to right by Cano.
That's right. Even with 2 outs, going to third base, much better than settling for second.
Here's Berkman. That's low for ball 1. The inning started with Pena grounding out as the lefty Dustin Richardson gets loose. Jeter struck out. But 4 straight singles. Swisher, Teixeira, Cano, Posada. Here's a 1-0 to Berkman. Runner goes at first. And Posada steals second without a play. His first of the year. And that immediately sends Tim into the media guide to see how many he had last year and maybe how many he has had over the last 5 years.
I'll be right with you.
Okay. I'll cover the rest of it. 2-0 the count. And a hit could mean 2 more.
18th stolen base for his career for Jorge Posada, and this being his 16th year. A little more than 1 a year. It's very rare that we look into that column for Jorge.
That's on the corner, 2-1. Last year he had 1. The year before, none. And he gets 1 here to make it second and third for Berkman. And this could be a big opportunity for Lance Berkman, who is now 2 for 20 as a Yankee. Fastball's up, 3-1. On deck is Granderson, who has an RBI triple in this game. And a foul off the right leg of Lance Berkman, full count. Right up the right foot. Richardson getting ready with a left-hander coming up next. Granderson, another lefty to follow. Three-two. Chop back to Lackey. He lobs it over to first. The inning is over. 4 straight hits for New York. It started with Swisher, Teixeira, Cano, and then Posada. 4-2 New York after 5 at Yankee Stadium. Colors pictures the town in theaters everywhere September 17th. And by Chevrolet, every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty. Well, the NFL on Fox returns preseason football Thursday, August 19th. You've got the Patriots and the Falcons. The two quarterbacks highlighted. Philly at Cincinnati, Kevin Cobb and Terrell Owens. Both games start at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific in high definition only on Fox. First game is a week from Thursday. That's hard to believe. First game, period, is tomorrow, the Hall of Fame game, with Dallas playing Cincinnati. A foul off the bat of David Ortiz to start the 6th inning, and Sabathia now has his first lead of the day. And he seems like he has settled in since that RBI double by Mike Lowell in the 2nd. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Every time I see with football right around the corner, as you see John Lackey going into the dugout, every time it's that fierce competitiveness we were talking about, but every time I see a quarterback go to the ground feet first, I think, why haven't Major League base runners learned how to go feet first yet? But
second time Ortiz has been upset with Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire, on a similar pitch the first time, by the way.
Fastball front corner. Pitch appeared to be a strike. But to protect themselves, quarterbacks go feet first to the ground, and nobody's allowed to hit them after that, like Peyton Manning.
Good, yeah, do a little football. Who's that?
And others. Philip Rivers. Right. Vince Young.
Vince Young.
Oh, Vince Young, okay. But baseball has, some of the major injuries that have occurred over the last decade have come from guys going into bases head first. And two guys that we can think of, Martin Prado, second baseman with the Braves, and Chase Utley.
That's strike 3 over the outside corner, and if Ortiz didn't like the last one, he won't like that.
David's so conscious of that fastball inside when Sabathia goes away from him. Those pitches are awfully close. And again, it appears to me that Jerry Lane is calling the front corner. Does not have to go over all of the plate, just a piece of it.
That's strikeout number 3 for Sabathia. Second time he's taking care of Ortiz. It's funny when you think Sabathia, who is 6'7", 290, you think power. And really, we haven't seen either the overpowering fastball here today, or really him even relying on the fastball that much so far.
He can pitch with a combination of both power and finesse.
That was a good one on the hands of Victor Martinez, strike 2. There are the numbers: 2 runs on 5 hits, 3 strikeouts. Sabathia was a younger pitcher with the Indians. He was exclusively a power pitcher.
Throwing cutters inside. Joe Girardi talking about it before the game, saying he has really made that transition over his 10 years in the majors. Going after victory number 150 today.
Here's the 0-2. Just outside. Jerry Lane flinched, did not ring up Victor Martinez, who has homered in this game.
With the changeup. Just missing.
Martinez this season has hit .429 against left-handed pitching. He is 1 for 2 in this game. Full swing, still 1-2 with 1 out, nobody on.
Here's what we were talking about. Chase Utley, a very serious injury. The terrific second baseman for the Phillies. And Martin Prado, the pinky on his right hand. That was on July 30th, so he's apt to miss another couple of weeks. But that sliding head first is a bad thing to do, particularly into catchers. Catchers love that, but into any base for that matter.
1 out, nobody on. Another 1-2 to Martinez. Up to get it and fouled it straight back. He's getting good swings against Sabathia. On deck is Adrian Beltre, who has a double and a run scored. Red Sox have not been able to put much together since that 2-run second.
Fastball away.
On 1-2. And that is ball 2. 2-2. With this style of calling strike 3, Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire, has got everybody guessing. He's yelling it out so the catcher and batter hear it. Then making the physical call as Martinez flips one into right. Easy for Nick Swisher. Glasses on, 2 out. And the bases are empty for Adrian Beltre, and David Ortiz is still talking about that strikeout. I don't blame him. I'm sure he went back and looked at the replay after standing in the dugout taking his batting gloves off. And a wide strike to get him for strike 2 and strike 3.
I don't know if I agree with that. I thought those pitches hit the front corners. They were very, very close.
Agree to disagree.
Dissent is healthy.
That's right.
Here's
this is a strike to you?
Yes.
Well, frozen there, okay. But is it in front? Where is it? I don't know
front
if it's
corner.
at the plate. Maybe.
Well, maybe. I mean, opinion.
That's my favorite voice of yours. I love that. 2 out, nobody on. Here's a ground ball. Cano can't make a play, and Beltre is on with 2 out in the 6th.
Off the end of the bat, and Sabathia, because he's falling toward the third base line, and if Robinson Cano can't make that play with his arm, can't be made.
The numbers are good just about any way you slice them for Adrian Beltre in his first year with the Red Sox. But how about that? 377 average with 2 outs this season. The highest in baseball. He has a 2-out hit here, which brings in the tying run Mike Lowell, who has 3 home runs on the year. An RBI double in this game. Ball 1. You got a Boston Red Sox team that has put all these players on the disabled list, and Adrian Beltre, who has been a rock in the middle of it for Terry Francona and Theo Epstein. His value is immeasurable here in 2010. Here's a little fly ball into right. Sabathia is through 6. Well, you know, dissension. That's it, dissension. 4-2 Yankees after 5.5.
The sin is healthy.
It is. I disagree. to be out on the water or inside Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. This beautiful setting for baseball. The first pitch is a strike to Curtis Granderson, bottom of the 6th. 4-2. Yankees lead it. There's a base hit to right. Granderson's 2 for 3. And we'll give you our Verizon game summary as we play here in the 6th inning. On a day that started at 84 degrees right around 4 o'clock. Beginning of our day here at Yankee Stadium. Alex Rodriguez injured in batting practice. Red Sox 2 runs in the 2nd, 3 extra base hits in the inning. It included a home run by Victor Martinez. And for the Yankees, 4 straight 2-out singles in the 5th to take their first lead of the day. RBIs by Cano and Posada. Good rip by Gardner, strike 1. Here's the batting practice situation. Berkman hit it. Rodriguez is over there, had initiated the conversation and said hello to somebody on the Red Sox side of the field. That's somebody, me, and then got hit. The x-rays were negative. He is day to day as he was drilled on a ball hit by Berkman on the low left shin. Andy Del Carmen gets loose. Granderson on at first. Nobody out. Gardner is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a foul out. After Gardner, it's Pena, Rodriguez replacement. And time called at the plate.
Well, that is sometimes the best deterrent to a base runner is just hold the ball. Red Sox with an idea. Granderson with 9 stolen bases on the year. He has not been caught. Lackey will probably quick pitch him on this.
Up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's a lot Joe Girardi can do right now. You have a 2-run lead. You can open things up. If Gardner can trickle one through the infield, you have 1st and 3rd and nobody out, and Lackey in a ton of trouble. I think you have to be aggressive on the bases right now.
Granderson on his toes, takes off. Martinez throw down, sails away, and Granderson will end up at 3rd base. Stolen base, and then an error. And Martinez, who struggled early throwing out base stealers, has improved, but this one he had no chance.
And Granderson waiting for an even count. That way, the pitch out was more unlikely. 10 stolen bases for Granderson, and a throwing error on Victor Martinez.
Stolen base, E2. And a runner at 3rd with nobody out, and the count in the favor of Brett Gardner. That brings the infield in. Gardner is driven in 36. That's foul. Sounded like he may have broken his bat. He did, and it's 2-2. Saturday baseball on Fox returns next week. You will see either the Cubs at the Cardinals. Padres will visit the Giants. That's a big game in the NL West. The Orioles at the Rays. A lot of eyes, fans. These two teams will be watching what Tampa Bay does next Saturday. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern. Check your local listing. Presented by Sprint. Infield is in, 2-2 the count. And that is just outside, and somewhere David Ortiz is saying, what do you mean that's not strike 3?
Thought it was outside.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Doesn't really matter what we think.
No.
Another foul. A leadoff base hit by Granderson. Used his leg, stole second, went to third, and a throwing error by Victor Martinez. And that's a big run sitting over there for New York as they lead by 2 in the 6th. One away, and a big strikeout for Lackey, number 7 on the afternoon for the Boston right-hander.
Breaking ball out of the strike zone, and Gardner bites. Now I think Martinez is out to talk to Lackey about the possibility of a squeeze. You remember when Pena was up the first time, the infield was back. So you don't even think about the squeeze. When the infield's in, you're thinking more about bunting and scoring the runner from third base than you would be if the infield were back. So we'll see. It looks like Joe Girardi says swing the bat. Pena, very good bunter.
107 pitches up to this point for Lackey, trying to get through the 6th. And a pitch out as the Red Sox look for the squeeze. Well, Lackey has thrown 108. Good news for New York is that Sabathia has thrown just 79. Infield is in. 1-0 pitch. Line drive, base hit to right, and the Yankees lead 5-2. Pena with 2 RBIs in the game.
So John Lackey pitching out on the first pitch, and the second pitch right down the pipe. And Pena delivers. In there for the injured Alex Rodriguez. 2 RBIs on the afternoon.
And now Derek Jeter. Jeter is 0 for 3. There goes Pena. Throw by Martinez. Too late. Stolen base for Ramiro Pena. He's 4 for 4 in that department this season.
I think, as we suggested earlier, the Yankees opening things up here in the 6th. Stolen base by Granderson, his 10th. A stolen base by Pena, his 4th.
But unlike Peyton Manning or Phillip Rivers or Vince Young, he went hand first.
That's true.
Here comes an 0-1.
You know, in all seriousness, Joe, I mean, organizations do that with their minor league players. They try to encourage them to go feet first, less of a chance of having a serious injury. But those hands are your business partners, and you don't risk them to serious injury, and that's what you do.
And here's a throw that goes into center, but unable to pop up and advance is Pena as it got away from Scudero.
That was the daylight play. When a pitcher sees daylight between the shortstop and the base runner, he throws to the bag.
Joe Girardi is going to argue that Scudero laid on top of Ramiro Pena. There was some of that involved. And Pena, by the time he located the baseball and could get back up with Scudero getting off his back, it was too late.
Here it is once again. You can see daylight between Scudero and the runner, right in that area right there. A Scudero, and going after the ball, perhaps lays on Pena longer than you should. Good acting by Scudero. We talked about Jeter in his first movie earlier. That was worth a movie shot by Mario there.
Just for the opportunity to define it, it would be called obstruction if they called it the act of a fielder who, while not in possession of the ball and not in the act of fielding the ball, impedes the progress of any runner. What Girardi was arguing did not get the call, and now the 2-1 to Jeter is low, ball 3.
If you're just learning the game, the difference between obstruction and interference, usually interference is with the offensive team. obstruction is with the defensive team. And that's why on that particular play, had it been called, it would have been called obstruction.
The 3-1. Well hit by Jeter into left center. Caught basket style on a sinking line drive by Bill Hall. That was a very good catch by Bill Hall, who almost overran it but adjusted for the out.
Talking about not seeing the ball, I don't believe he saw the ball. The lights are on here at Yankee Stadium. It's an unusual time of day, the twilight, late summer. And he ends up making a basket catch out of a ball hit that wasn't basket catch style.
So Jeter hit it hard, but makes the second out. The batter is Swisher, who started that 4-hit rally, 2-run rally in the 5th. The base hit to center. Ball 1. Here's a line drive into left. Hall makes the catch, and the inning is over. RBI by Ramiro Pena in the inning. Another run for the Yankees, who behind Sabathia lead Boston 5-2. Back after this from your local Fox station. Game moves into the 7th inning, and CC Sabathia, who's under 80 pitches on the day, this will be number 80, brings it home to J.D. Drew. Breaking ball misses, ball 1. It'll be Drew, Hall, McDonald against Sabathia, who has allowed 1 hit, also pitched around an error since a leadoff hit by Scudero in the 3rd. The 1-0. Strike 1. Drew is struck out, fly to left. Trying to get something going for the Red Sox, who won here last night 6-3 behind Clay Buchholz, who has really blossomed here in 2010. That skips in ball 2. Here's the play where Scudero missed the throw from Lackey. was on top of Ramiro Pena. Joe Girardi argued for obstruction. The Yankees did not get the call, and an interesting and fun exchange between Derek Jeter, who was the hitter. The home plate umpire, Jerry Lane, ensued, which will play for you. Jerry Lane, the umpire, is wearing a mic. That misses. Ball 3, 3-1. So as a Red Sox team, 4th in the AL, as a group hitting .271 despite all the players on and off the DL. Here's a 3-1 from Sabathia. That's over but low, a leadoff walk, and here's the exchange between Jerry Lane, the umpire, and Jeter after that play at second.
Do you think he intentionally laid on top of him? Do you think he intentionally laid on top of him? Or did he just get up? Huh?
I don't know.
Could you get up any faster than that?
Well, I get up like a big cat.
You move around like a cat?
Yeah, I move around like a cat.
I move better than you do.
Derek Jeter saying he moves around like a cat after he said, I don't really know the rule, but I get up. And Jerry Lane saying, I move around better than you do. There's a strike from Sabathia to Bill Hall, who's 0 for 2. Leadoff walk, and by the way, that's the first walk issued by Sabathia in this game. By the way, had obstruction been called, umpires could have awarded third base to the runner Ramiro Pena. And remember, the fly ball off the bat of Jeter followed. Hard hit to left. That's low, ball 1. Terry Francona told us before the game in the 7th inning we'll be right there in it because of John Lackey, and they're in it, down by 3, biggest deficit for either side today. After the run in the 6th for the Yankees. Here's a 1-1. Not hard hit. Jeter has only one play, and that's to second. Almost handcuffed Cano, 1 out.
Joe, just to give you an idea of how much players pay attention to us about going in feet first, there's one dive, hands first, another dive, hands first, and a dive back into the bag, hands first. 3 hands first dives into the bag today when we strongly recommend feet first.
You.
Well, yeah.
Now I'm with you. I'm always with you. Even though we disagree on strikes, different things.
Well, most organizations are trying to teach their young players. I mean, you can't teach the older ones because they're used to it. They're trying to teach their young players to go in feet first to avoid injury.
With 1 out, here's Darnell McDonald. He takes a strike. Yankees trying to even this series with a win here today, and then these two clubs play tomorrow and Monday. Beckett and Burnett, starters tomorrow, and then John Lester and Dustin Mosley, who is the rotation replacement for Andy Pettitte on Monday. Shattered bat might be 2. Jeter flips out. Got them both. 6-4-3, well turned by Cano in the middle. There is nobody that does that better in the game than Robinson Cano. Time to stretch. Yankees lead the Red Sox 5-2. men hair color. Live Forward by Amway Global, where positivity powers our people, products, and businesses. And by Verizon Wireless, introducing the Droid X, the next generation of does. The GW Bridge and our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV to find out how you can get 5 months free. We go for a DirecTV game break and check in with Chris Myers.
And, Joe, the A's are trying to bridge the gap in the AL West. Ricky Henderson looking on, watching the first-place Texas Rangers in town. Rich Harden pitching, a one-time Red Sox. Coco Crisp, a solo homer. His 4th of the season at the time, 3-0. The A's have added to that, have a 6-0 lead in the top of the 8th. And DirecTV, the only way to watch every Major League game is in HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Here's Manny Del Carmen taking over as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Sabathia's done his part. Yankees lead at 5-2. We remind Yankee fans about Hope Week, August 16th through the 20th, during an April 26th White House ceremony honoring the Yankees, their championship from last year. President Obama officially announced the return of Hope Week in 2010. It was introduced last season. The Hope Week initiative, helping others persevere and excel, is rooted in the fundamental belief that acts of goodwill provide hope and encouragement to more than just the recipient of the gesture. Throughout Hope Week 2010, the Yankees will bring to light 5 remarkable stories intended to inspire others into action in their own communities. Nice gesture on the part of the Yankees.
Very nice.
Something that this organization is extremely proud of, and they should be. As Teixeira steps in, Mark is 1 for 3, and he takes a ball up and away from Del Carmen. And Lackey goes 6. Allows 5 runs on 8 hits. Here comes a 1-0 to Mark Teixeira. Off the end of the bat, a ball and a strike. 3 walks for Lackey, 7 strikeouts. But he cannot be the winner. He suffers a loss today. He will end the evening at 10-7 in his first year with Boston. Felix Doubront, the left-hander, who the Red Sox really, really like, and who recently have turned into a reliever at AAA, just recalled with Okajima going on the DL. Bothered by a hamstring, is getting loose.
Joe Girardi telling us that he will probably not bring Doubront into a game with the bases loaded, 2 guys on, but more to start an inning than in the middle of an inning, which makes a lot of sense since you're dealing with a young starter, only 22 years old.
A 1-2, changeup, and Teixeira is down to start the 7th.
Boy, that is an excellent changeup from Manny Del Carmen to get Teixeira.
Robinson Cano's had a nice day. A walk, 2 singles, an RBI his last time up, and that RBI put the Yankees on top. Made it 3-2, then 4-2. Run in the 6th, made it 5-2. And there's a strike on the inside corner to Cano.
Cano 1 hit away from 1,000. It's a lot of hits when you're only 27 years old.
You said earlier in the year that he's got future batting champion written all over him.
Mm-hmm.
You might even put him in the category of a future MVP.
Absolutely.
With what he does playing up the middle as a second baseman, power, hits for average, runs. He's got to be the elite now, especially with Utley down for the Philadelphia Phillies. There's nobody better at that position than Cano.
Right.
With 1 out, nobody on, Del Carmen brings it, and he has struck out the first 2. How about yesterday? We want to congratulate Tim McCarver and Brian Cashman, the Yankees general manager, as they were inducted into the Irish Hall of Fame.
Irish Baseball Hall of Fame. That was very, very nice, along with Brian Cashman. There's Brian. Other inductees, Bob Murphy, the announcer for the New York Mets for, since 1962, till Bob passed a couple of years ago. Bill James, who is employed by the Boston Red Sox. He was introduced, actually, Joe Castiglione, the fine radio broadcaster of the Red Sox, was there to help induct Bill James, and then King Kelly. It's a very nice affair. Very, very nice. Thank you.
I'm half Irish. Does that mean I get to go visit the Hall of Fame? Is there?
Sure. Foley's Pub on 33rd. That's it. 18 West 33rd Street.
All right.
That's where the Irish Baseball Hall of Fame is.
On a tour from you someday. One ball, one strike on Jorge Posada. Be like walking the halls of Cooperstown with Babe Ruth. Del Carmen struck out the first two, trying to keep it a 3-run game. The 1-1 pitch. Popped up behind the plate. And it'll get back and out of play for strike 2. So Del Carmen's in a spot here against the 3, 4, 5 hitters to strike out the side. There's the left foot. Dustin Pedroia. Getting closer. 6 weeks ago, fractured that left foot in a game out in San Francisco. Running harder on it, trying to turn on it. And he will go on a short rehab. It could be only one game when he's ready to go. That is a couple of weeks away. Posada grounds one to the right side. Lowell goes too far to his right. Del Carmen does a nice job covering to put out 4-1 with Lowry feeding Del Carmen. We go to the 8th. I'm sitting next to a Baseball Irish Hall of Famer. 5-2 New York. Baseball on Fox is presented by Sprint. Sprint the Now Network. Beautiful day in the city here in the Bronx. 84 degrees at the start as we go into the 8th inning, and into the 8th inning is CC Sabathia. Just turned 30. Last year 19-8, trying to win his 14th here today against 5 losses. Top of the order, Scudero, Lowry, and Ortiz, as action begins to at least stir for the Yankees out in their bullpen. The 0-1. 92-mile-an-hour fastball misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Yankees have had problems with the middle of their bullpen, but the peerless Mariano Rivera has kept it from having problems at the end of it. He has been unbelievable yet again.
Sabathia, as we talked about in the beginning, is a strike. Comes in at the knees. 1-2 is 7-0 here at home this year, and 16-3 with the Yankees while pitching in his home whites. It's been an eventful week for CC Sabathia and his wife Amber. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to the right side. Easy for Teixeira, who will win the race. Why has this been an eventful week for the Sabathias? Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Because, Joe, CC and Amber became parents for the 4th time. Amber gave birth to a son on Thursday, Carter Charles, 7 pounds, 11 ounces. Not to be confused with their oldest, Karsten Charles III, who is 6.5. The Sabathias also have 2 daughters, Jaden and Saya, C-Y-I-A, and yes, that is a reference to Cy Young.
So this would be a nice way for Sabathia to end that week here on a Saturday afternoon against the Red Sox after a Yankee loss. He leads by 3, and he misses low with ball 1 to Jed Lowry. Rivera's getting loose. Robertson is closer to us than Rivera. 1 out in the 8th. That misses for ball 2.
CC Sabathia has already won 1 Cy Young Award. That was back in 2007. Pitching with Cleveland. Cleveland 1 game away that year from going to the World Series, and who went? The Boston Red Sox. Down 3-1, won 3 in a row, and then won the World Series. Their 2nd of the decade.
Took care of Colorado 4 straight. With 1 out, nobody on, Sabathia, who has walked only 1, finds the strike zone. 3-1.
I think he'll probably take another one with the Red Sox trailing by 3.
Instead, he swings and grounds to Ramiro Pena. Made a nice play on a weird hop 2 out. And with the bases empty, the batter will be David Ortiz, who is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. You can pick a stat, pick a player, build your baseball hot streak. Correctly pick 10 straight and win a Fox Sports baseball cap. Hundreds of hats have been given away so far this season. Just like that one on our good friend Handel. Get your streak started today and win yourself a hat or some cash at foxsports.com/fantasy. Ortiz with 2 out, nobody on. Good breaking ball has Ortiz frozen, strike 1.
Been a tough day for David Ortiz. Double play ground ball and 2 strikeouts. Behind here. Tough assignment against Sabathia, too, if you're a left-handed hitter.
There's strike 2.
Another breaking ball.
Good pitch from Karsten Charles Sabathia. How about CeCe? By Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. By Ink, the new business card from Chase. Make your mark with Ink. And by new Gillette Odor Shield Antiperspirant. Help eliminate odor. Don't just cover it up. Statue of Liberty and Yankee Stadium. And CeCe Sabathia, who will get congratulations, Tim, after, I would say early it was a bit of a struggle, and we talked to Dave Island, his pitching coach, about him trying to find the release point and settle in. But once he settled in and his teammates went to work on the Red Sox, Sabathia really was effective. He goes 8. 2 runs on 6 hits, and now Rivera is the one standing in the bullpen. We'll see if he comes on in the 9th inning. We're in the bottom of the 8th. And Felix Doubront, the young left-hander, as I mentioned, John Farrell, the pitching coach, and Terry Francona, the manager, really like. He's coming out of the bullpen for the first time at the big league level.
They have their eyes on Doubront as being a future starter. Only 22 years old, 22 years, 258 days. Getting back to Sabathia, only 1 hit, an infield hit, since the 3rd inning, the last 5 innings. He was masterly.
So with Berkman first up, still trying to get on a little bit of a roll. Lance is 0 for 2 in this game and now 2 for 21 since he was picked up by the Yankees. He bats right-handed and grounds to short. Scudero to his right. 1 out. Hey fans, Fox Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. New draft rooms, greater customization, faster live scoring, and still 100% free. Play today at foxsports.com/fantasy. You heard the boos for Lance Berkman, who is now 2 for 22 since coming to the Yankees. He had a quote during the week after he got traded. He had a full no-trade situation in Houston. He okayed the deal to the Yankees. Granderson fouls it out of play. And the quote from Berkman was, "I felt like I needed to either retire or get into a situation where you were scared again, where if you fail, you're a bum." I think he's found it. He's found that situation, and now he's trying to find his stroke. But I will say again what I thought right when they got him, and what I will say till the end of the season. I thought it was a good pickup. He is a professional hitter, and when he gets hot and settles in, I think he will be a major plus in this lineup.
Those boos will turn to cheers. When you think about the booing, that's something Lance Berkman never heard in Houston, ever. Never heard a boo there. He did too well down there. As you said, a professional hitter, but after only 22 at-bats, the boos have been coming here at Yankee Stadium.
Ken Rosenthal, who is with us, spoke to Lance Berkman about it as that one spins Granderson off the plate. Ken, what was his mood when you talked to him about the scrutiny that he will now face here in the Bronx?
Joe, his mood was good, but he recognizes that this is a unique challenge for him in his career. He told me that he spoke with his wife this week, and he said to her, "Hey, no matter what happens, I'm going to find out here where I am at age 34. And as Tim said, the booing is something he never experienced in Houston, and the adjustment to New York can be challenging for even the best of players."
He has 4 daughters. He told his daughters that Dad was leaving the Houston Astros. Obviously, they are entrenched in that community, and as Granderson fouls one back and out of play again, he thought it was going to be an emotional conversation he had with his daughter. All 4 of them, Daddy's leaving Houston, he's going to go play in New York, and all they were excited about was getting a chance to go to that big toy store, which was what they called FAO Schwartz if they came to New York to visit Dad. But he can hit. Granderson in a battle with Dubron. A 3-2 pitch, and Dubron gets it by him, 2 out.
Sticking with the fastball, a very impressionable young man who throws hard, Felix Dubron. You'll be hearing about him in the future.
When he talked to Francona about him, he said, no, we like him. I know we're just making him a reliever, but he's not the kind of guy that's going to come up and pitch in a 7-run game. If we have a chance to win, we're not scared to put him out there. So young and inexperienced, but talented. And here's Brett Gardner with 2 out, nobody on. .92-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1. One last note about Berkman. He is 5th on the all-time career list for home runs by a switch hitter with 326. It's fouled back, and Brian Cashman, who at the deadline added not only Berkman but Austin Kearns, a right-handed bat, will get some starts, but mainly to come off the bench, an outfielder, and Kerry Wood, all for less than $6 million and all for not much player-wise. I really thought Cashman did a nice job right at the bitter end of adding some pieces that can help this Yankee team down the stretch.
He usually does.
With 2 out, nobody on, the 0-2 pitch. It's upstairs for ball 1. There's Berkman, his numbers with Houston. Kearns, his numbers with Cleveland, and the same for Kerry Wood, who's been bothered by a bad back. There's Austin Kearns, who has bounced around. Reds, Nationals, Indians. Now the Yankees. Still 1-2 on Gardner, who's 0 for 3. Red Sox in the 9th inning will have Martinez, Beltre, and Lowell, 4, 5, and 6 hitters in their lineup, trailing by at least 3. And dealing with the best ever, in our opinion, Mariano Rivera, closing games.
How good is he? How good have the Yankees been with the lead after 8 innings this year? They are 58-0 after 8 with the lead. Primarily because of that man right there.
That's not to say there haven't been blown saves, but they've come back to win games.
Right.
Here is a 2-2 from Dubron. Awkward swing by Gardner, who helps out Martinez retrieve the baseball. Still 2-2. Francona will hand the ball to Josh Beckett tomorrow. The Yankees will counter with A.J. Burnett, who's coming off an 8-6 loss on Monday to Toronto. Had been on a good roll after a miserable month of June. That's on the outside corner. Inning is over, and we go into the 9th inning. 4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Red Sox. They have to get to work. Yankees lead at 5-2. This season for Mariano Rivera, whose ERA is 0.91. We get to the 40-inning pitch mark during this appearance. He's 3-1 overall, and he will deal with the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Boston Red Sox. Leading by 3, trying to save the 14th win of the year for CC Sabathia. And I kind of chuckled when I said that ERA of 0.91 because in a 20-plus save season since 1969, that is the 3rd best ever ERA at 0.91, surpassed only by Goose in 1981 with the Yankees and Dennis Eckersley in 1990 with the A's. It was 0.61.
Just staggering.
Victor Martinez has homered today. That was an early blemish on the mark of Sabathia, who was terrific. That is pulled foul. Strike 1. Sabathia, 8 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, a home run, and hoping for win number 14. Saturday, after he and his wife Amber welcomed their 4th child into the world, handing the ball to Mariano Rivera. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. At home against the Red Sox since late April of 07, Rivera is 7 for 7 against Boston and save opportunities with an ERA of 0.66. That's to first and a fair ball. Great pick by Teixeira, 1 out.
That is a wicked hop with which to deal. That ball with a lot of overspin. And Rivera, an extraordinary athlete, over quickly. That is not a routine 3-1 play right there.
We seem to talk about it every time we have the Yankees and Teixeira is in the lineup. He always seems to step up and make a play that
always.
He's just so solid, and really is. It's more than solid. He can make the dramatic play.
We've talked about it before. When he goes to his right, it's almost as though he were a left-handed throwing first baseman. Almost like he's got a glove on his right hand.
Beltre up there pumping away, strike 1. You think about where the Yankees were coming into this game. Not only did they lose A-Rod during batting practice, but they'd lost 5 of their last 7. For a moment this week, they had lost their lead in the AL East. They had their big left-hander going today, and Sabathia did his part. It could be a game-and-a-half lead, would be, with a Yankee win at the end of the afternoon, because Tampa Bay was blitzed by Toronto. Beltre's 2 for 3, trying to get something going. The Red Sox just need 2 base runners to have a chance.
Posada wants it down.
On 1-1. Strike 2. Into right, Swisher to his left in the corner. 2 out. Yankees have played good defense all day long, as have the Red Sox, by the way. And the Just for Men Keep Your Edge spotlight, it belongs to CC Sabathia. 8 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits. And just as CC gives the Yankees the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. Here's Mike Lowell. RBI double his first time up. Into right center field off the end of the bat. Granderson to his left, and the Yankees win it 5-2. Sabathia 14-5, Lackey 10-7, and the save for Rivera, number 23. Against just 2 blown saves this season, and he makes it look easy once again. 2-hour, 47-minute game. And that's hard to believe when you consider it's the Yankees and the Red Sox. Usually you pack a lunch and strap in for a long game. 2 hours and 47 minutes.
That's opposed to their normal average time of 3 hours and 23 minutes.
So there's the division lead now for the Yankees at a game-and-a-half. Boston falls to 6 out. They have 2 more games to play here in New York before the series is over. We go down to the field. Ken Rosenthal is standing by. Kenny, it's all yours.
Joe, we're here with Ramiro Pena. Ramiro, obviously, A-Rod gets hurt in BP. Did you see it happen, and when did you know you would be playing today?
They told me, just be ready. And then I had to change the group of VP and everything, so just be ready. And then they let me know I was playing.
Okay, you came up twice today, runner on third, less than 2 outs. What are you thinking in those situations?
I mean, I was first thing I was watching the infield. In the first AB, it was the infield was bad, just put the ball in play. And the second RBI was get a good pitch and try to bring me in.
Ramiro, thanks very much. Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny Rosenthal, thank you, and thanks for your help here today.